The gaming business, as you are well aware, is a $28 billion global business which has been around on the digital space for over 30 years now. Gaming itself can be from casual gaming to PC-based gaming, to MMOG, to console gaming, and now mobile gaming. We as a company are in some parts of this. We don't do anything as far as console gaming right now. We started off as a casual gaming company, and that's one of the biggest strengths as far as we are concerned. There we've developed games largely in Flash and Shockwave, some amount of games in Java, and then we kind of morphed into the opportunity on the mobile gaming space. And there we've done game development again on Java, Brew, and some amount of gaming in Flash as well, which is now happening. So that's really what we have been exposed to as a company. The Engage Championship, I think to a great extent was a fantastic concept, perhaps a little ahead of its time, at least in this market. When Nokia approached us back in 2004, they were about to launch the Engage QD, which was their revised version of the Engage phone. And they wanted to do something interesting with that. And we came up with this concept of developing a mobile gaming championship across the country, which at that time ran across 47 cities. And we took a bus, we stripped the bus inside, we put 10 gaming consoles inside the bus, we put GPS trackers onto the bus, and we had 3 of these buses, and they in 45 days covered 55,000 kilometers, touching 600,000 actual gamers and about 18 million people who were exposed to this entire thing. And I think it was a fantastic experience in terms of trying to populate the concept of gaming. See, you have to understand and appreciate that gaming as is understood in the rest of the world, largely in Europe and Americas, or Japan, which are very mature markets, Korea, is not necessarily the case in South Asia, and certainly not in India, at least not now. Gaming in most parts of the world is a fairly mature adult entertainment where the average age is not necessarily 12 and 13 or whatever, is a significantly higher figure than that. Whereas in the Indian market, it is still seen as a fairly teeny bopperish kind of a concept, at least right now. Over the last few months, of course, numerous mainstream gaming companies have gained traction here, and that will sort of hopefully see this scaling up. So I think there is a lot that needs to be done to introduce gaming in the right manner into this country. And gaming championships are, at the end of the day, just one of numerous things that can be done. Intrinsically, the game is all about competing. You're competing against the machine, you're competing in an environment with other players, and you are sort of filling in scores for high scores and things like that. When you take that entire experience in the physical world and convert that into a championship, you convert it into an opportunity which can result in more communities. And that's really what we had conceptualized when we did the Engage QD Mobile Gaming Challenge, where across 47 cities, the idea was to make heroes out of each of these people in their small towns of Rohtak and Surat and whatever. And over a period of time, for a company like Nokia to be able to take that forward and literally convert that into a CRM program for themselves. Unfortunately, it hasn't necessarily panned out in that particular manner. Perhaps as a company, they've had their own set of agenda. But I see tremendous opportunity of, to have more of such programs. And but rest assured, there will be, not necessarily just by us, but by numerous companies in the market, because the market is large enough to cater to that. So yes, a long drawn-out way of answering your question, but the answer is yes, there will be a lot more of that that you will probably see in the market. Casual gaming is the most sort of easy form of gaming, and mobile gaming as well, to sort of get people to try and understand the gaming concept and really make that into a active habit-forming feature, such that they can kill time or make that into a pastime. The MMOG space is one of the intrinsic things that are required for that is to have a quality network as far as broadband connectivity is concerned, for it to actually have a real life sort of experience. Barring the last 6 months where there has been a fair amount of traction as far as broadband penetration is concerned, and when I mean traction outside of the cyber cafes and office environments, into homes. Companies like BSNL and TNL have all been sort of largely promoting their broadband services. And that, I think, is the first sort of sign for more such requirements of this nature. There have been companies which have been making attempts in this, not very successful, not for reasons in terms of lack of attempt, but I would largely attribute those as reasons wherein the market itself is not mature enough. It's similar to us doing a mobile gaming championship back in 2004, when there were just about 18-20,000 games per day that were being downloaded in the market. Today that number may be 100,000 games, and therefore it's far more sort of conducive for a championship of that nature to nurse. So MMOG is another space which I think will happen. We tend to look into the experience in Korea and Japan and China, and therefore get a Philippines and get very excited about that. I don't believe that that is necessarily true. I believe we have to find our own niche as far as that's concerned. But fundamentally, as broadband connectivity and speed and access is becoming more and cheaper, I think the youngsters are going to take to more formats, and the casual gamers will hopefully graduate to more MMOG, which will graduate more towards the PC and console-based gaming space, which is obviously the most expensive, but the most hardcore as far as experience is concerned. Of course, I'm a gamer. Not the types who will sort of sit on his desk and play a game. My wife beats me at this, and whenever this interview actually goes on air, she will have conclusive proof of this, because in every function or party or get together that we have this constant battle between us. We don't sort of when she was ill and I took 2 days off, is the time when I got best at gaming, because she couldn't play that time. Yes, so I have a PS2 at home. I was recently gifted an Xbox by the Chief Operating Officer of Microsoft, Kevin Turner, and Ravi Venkatesh, who's the chairman of Microsoft, was very kind. I mean, Kevin was making a trip into India, and he wanted to meet up with a few people from the internet and mobile world, and that's the kind of meetings I'd always like to do, because at the end of the meeting he gifted us with an Xbox 360, which I've just gotten used to, and I'm playing a car racing game on that. I also have a PSP on which I suck. My wife is very good at it. She plays Grand Theft Auto on that, and she's just advised me that don't go past level 2, because we have a 2-year-old daughter, and some of the terms are fairly abusive over there. So yeah, I mean, I play games, but I'm not sort of my gaming experience is driven more by when I really need that little sort of stress buster kind of a thing, as opposed to it being addictive, thankfully, because that's the only thing that's keeping me getting this company going otherwise.